There are so many games in real world, but there are some games which might be dangerous for us. Here are 10 popular paranormal games that have intrigued and frightened many over the years. Number 1. The Ouija board, a classic and widely recognized game where participants use a board and a planchette to supposedly communicate with spirits. Players ask questions, and the planchette moves to spell out answers. Setup: a board marked with letters, numbers, and the words yes, no, and goodbye, along with a planchette, a small, heart-shaped piece of wood or plastic. How to play: gather participants, ideally in a dimly lit room. Place the Ouija board on a flat surface and everyone places their fingers lightly on the planchette. Begin by asking simple questions, and supposedly, the spirits will guide the planchette to spell out answers. Objective: communicate with spirits. Warnings: the game is said to open a portal to the spirit world, and users are cautioned to always say goodbye to close the session. Number 2. Bloody Mary, a legend that involves summoning a ghostly apparition by repeatedly chanting Bloody Mary into a mirror, typically in a dimly lit or candlelit room. Setup: a dark room with a mirror. How to play: stand in front of the mirror in a dimly lit room, often with a candle. Chant Bloody Mary 3 to 13 times, depending on the variation, into the mirror. Objective: summon the ghostly figure of Bloody Mary, who is said to appear in the mirror. Warnings: participants often report feeling scared or seeing fleeting images, but the game is largely based on psychological effects. Number 3. The Midnight Game, a ritual where participants summon a spirit known as the Midnight Man and must avoid him until 3:33 a.m. by continuously moving around their house with a lit candle. Setup: requires a candle, paper, pen, matches or a lighter, salt, and a wooden door. How to play: write your full name on a piece of paper and place it in front of a wooden door. Light a candle, knock on the door 22 times, ensuring the final knock is exactly at midnight, then open the door and blow out the candle. Relight the candle immediately and begin moving around the house, avoiding the Midnight Man until 3:33 a.m. Objective: survive the game by avoiding the entity until the end time. Warnings: if the candle goes out, it's said the Midnight Man is near, and you must relight it within 10 seconds. If unsuccessful, surround yourself with a circle of salt. Number 4. Charlie Charlie, a simpler game using pencils and paper to communicate with a spirit named Charlie. The pencils are balanced in a cross, and questions are asked, with the pencils supposedly moving to indicate answers. Setup: 2 pencils and a sheet of paper divided into 4 quadrants, labeled yes and no. How to play: balance one pencil on top of the other in a cross. Ask, Charlie, Charlie, are you here? And watch if the pencil moves to indicate a response. Objective: communicate with the spirit of a boy named Charlie. Warnings: it's a simple game but has been known to spook participants due to the unexplained pencil movement. Number 5. The Elevator Game, a game that involves using an elevator to travel to another dimension. Players must follow a specific sequence of floors and steps to supposedly encounter a supernatural entity or enter an alternate reality. Setup: a building with at least 10 floors. How to play: enter the elevator alone and press the following sequence of floors: 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5. After reaching the 5th floor, a woman may enter the elevator. Do not look at or speak to her. Press the button for the 1st floor. If the elevator ascends instead, you have entered another dimension. Objective: experience another world or dimension. Warnings: players are advised to follow the steps precisely and to not engage with the woman if she appears. Number 6. The Closet Game involves summoning a demon by standing in a dark closet with a match. The player must light the match and ask for a sign, then listen carefully for any responses. Setup: a dark closet and a match. How to play: enter the closet with an unlit match and close the door. Stand in the dark and say, "Show me the light or leave me in darkness." Light the match immediately. Objective: summon a demon or experience paranormal activity. Warnings: it's said to be very dangerous and potentially summon malevolent entities. Number 7. The Hooded Man Ritual, a complex ritual where participants call a supernatural taxi driver by following specific instructions. It's said to take them to another world or dimension. Setup: a telephone, black cord or rope, and an area with minimal disturbance. How to play. Perform a cleansing ritual, then dial a specific number on a black corded phone. After the call, go to sleep. If done correctly, you'll wake up at 3:30 a.m. with a black taxi outside. Enter the taxi, where you can ask questions or explore an alternate world. Objective: experience a journey to another world or dimension. Warnings: the ritual is complex and should be followed exactly. Disengage from the taxi if you feel threatened. Number 8. Three Kings, a psychological game that involves setting up mirrors and candles in a dark room. The player sits in front of the mirrors and asks questions, supposedly receiving answers from spirits or entities. Setup: a dark, quiet room, 2 mirrors, 3 chairs, and a candle. How to play. Set up the chairs in a triangle with the mirrors on the left and right sides of the throne chair. At 3:33 a.m., sit in the throne chair with a lit candle, facing straight ahead, not into the mirrors. Ask questions and wait for answers, supposedly from different dimensions or entities. Objective: communicate with different parts of your subconscious or otherworldly entities. Warnings: participants must follow the setup precisely and have a backup person to end the ritual if things go wrong. Number 9. The Candyman. Similar to Bloody Mary, this game involves saying Candyman into a mirror 5 times to summon a vengeful spirit. Setup: a dark room with a mirror. How to play. Stand in front of the mirror and say Candyman 5 times. The legend says a vengeful spirit with a hook for a hand will appear. Objective: summon the Candyman. Warnings: the game is based on urban legend and psychological thrill. Number 10. Hide and Seek Alone, a dangerous game where participants perform a ritual to summon a spirit into a doll and then play hide and seek with it, hoping to avoid being found by the possessed doll. Setup: a doll, rice, a needle, thread, a knife, and a bathtub. How to play. Remove the stuffing from a doll and fill it with rice, sewing it back up with red thread. Name the doll and place it in a tub filled with water. At 3 a.m., say, "I'm it" 3 times, then leave the knife by the tub and hide. After a few minutes, return to find the doll and stab it, then hide again. Objective: experience a paranormal hide-and-seek game with the doll. Warnings: the game is considered very dangerous and is said to summon spirits into the doll. These games are rooted in folklore and urban legends, often playing on psychological fears and the power of suggestion. Many come with warnings due to their potentially disturbing effects.